it was really bad how it looks. And he said, you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. You've protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his
tension is running high within Tom Aspinall's camp. Tom and his entire team are extremely upset with Dana White over what occurred during the post-fight interview at UFC 321.
Great showing, shitty ending, you know. I think that after the Jones fight, a lot of people wrote Ciryl Gane off. He looked damn good tonight.
Yeah, what did you think about the fight on its way to the eye poke? What did you take from those 4 minutes?
Good. Looked like we were in for a few rounds and it was going to be a good fight.
It would seem obvious that a rematch is right on the cards. Would you like to just rebook these guys as soon as Tom is able to get back in there?
Yeah.
Continue in the fight. I mean, could you imagine if you're Tom Aspinall listening to that? Could you imagine? I mean, we know that no one from the UFC was with him at the hospital. We saw that on his video blog. Could you imagine how this guy must be feeling on this Monday? Everyone calling him into question, his heart into question, because he got poked in the eye multiple times. One of them knuckle deep, and his promoter is saying Tom didn't want to continue. Not Tom was fouled with an illegal strike, multiple illegal strikes. Let me ask you a question. If that happened in some alternate universe to AJ, to Anthony Joshua, what do you think Eddie Hearn is saying? Eddie Hearn's probably still at the hospital with him. That's the difference. That's what I talk about. How do you think Tom feels on this Monday? Do you think he wanted it to end like that? Do you think that Tom was saying to himself, you know what? I got a bloody nose. The going got tough here. Peace out, guys. I'm out. Again, the fight wasn't as one-sided as people want you to believe. Yeah, I know it was weird that he was bloody. And yeah, I know it was weird that he was losing a round. We never see him lose rounds. We never see it go past the 2 minute and 2 second mark. That's his fight average going into this fight. But do you guys really think that he was...
left one was really deep.
Both up.
The left one was really
both up. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You got one for it.
Yeah,
Twice before he got one for it.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it. Yeah, it's horrendous for me.
After everything Tom has given to the UFC, his loyalty, professionalism, and image as the organization's clean-cut heavyweight figure, the way Dana White handled the situation left his camp outraged. In the post-fight interview at UFC 321, instead of backing a fighter who had just endured one of the most severe eye fouls ever seen inside the octagon, Dana publicly suggested that Tom chose not to continue. There was no recognition of the fact that Ciryl Gane poked him twice, with the second incident being a deep, direct double eye strike that ultimately led the cage-side doctor to stop the bout. This wasn't about a minor injury like a cut or swelling. Tom's vision was completely compromised, and he simply could not see.
I just walked out of watching this fight. I'm out here on campus. ESPN is right out my window if you find that interesting. All right. I share that with you because I'm mad. I'm mad. But I don't know who I'm mad at. Tom did not do anything wrong. Tom was poked in the eye. As a matter of fact, he was poked in both eyes. Now, I don't believe Ciryl did that on purpose. So, I also can't, or am not mad at Ciryl. But I am mad. I'm looking for somebody to blame. But I don't quite know who to blame. Now, before we get to that, okay, there was there was a pretty interesting fight going on. The story going into this fight is Tom has the power to just go knock him out. We're not saying Tom's a better kickboxer. We get that Ciryl did that for many years of his life. We get that Ciryl had over 30 professional kickboxing bouts. But Tom, a little younger, a little bigger, shown to have a little bit better power if you just want to look at results, and has the ability to knock him out. However, if Tom tests that and doesn't knock him
I really like the notion of that either. It didn't look like he won and then he's getting a title shot. I think people are a little bit sour about that. I just want to fight. I want to be as active as possible. I want to fight as much and as frequently as I possibly can. Yeah, I just want to get back to what I do and what.
But a lot of this could have been calmed down. A lot of this could have been quieted, could have been subdued if perhaps, I don't know, the face of the company would have gone to the press conference and said, look, that was a great fight. That was a great round. We're going to rebook it right away.
Earlier in the fight, the referee had already cautioned Ciryl Gane twice for extending his fingers. Yet when Dana White addressed the situation, he never once brought up Gane's role in the incident. Instead, he focused on complimenting Gane's showing, highlighting how sharp he looked, mentioning the damage he inflicted on Tom Aspinall, and suggesting the bout might have carried on. All of this was said while Tom was on his way to the hospital, sitting there without any UFC representatives beside him, only to later learn that the very person expected to support him had publicly placed the blame on him during a live broadcast. Sources close to Tom say he is absolutely furious.
Saying to himself, you know what? I got a bloody nose. The going got tough here. Peace out, guys. I'm out. Again, the fight wasn't as one-sided as people want you to believe. Yeah, I know it was weird that he was bloody. And yeah, I know it was weird that he was losing a round. We never see him lose rounds. We never see it go past the 2 minute and 2 second mark. That's his fight average going into this fight. But do you guys really think that he was looking for a way out? And again, I bring up the topic that I brought up last week, and I bring up the topic that I've been bringing up ever since I've been sitting in a chair like this, talking into a camera like that. This notion of intentional versus unintentional is the stupidest shit in sports. Period. You don't hear it anywhere else. Let me ask you guys a question. Yesterday, I'm watching the New York Knicks against the Miami Heat. Crucial juncture of the game. Knicks are down like 8 or so. They have the ball. Josh Hart gets called for an offensive foul. Illegal screen. Do the referees converge and say, like, did he mean to do that or did he not mean to do that? No. A foul is a foul. Ball goes the other way.
It doesn't mean in any way, shape or form here that Tom Aspinall was struggling. He fucking wasn't. Ciryl Gane's a good technical fighter. He was making it more difficult to catch him. But it wasn't like he was dishing out loads of punishment just because Tom had a bloody nose from a punch. Fucking Floyd Mayweather had a black eye from fucking Deji. A little bit of damage when you're in there throwing big fucking fists at each other is going to happen sometime. It does not reflect the way the fight is actually going. Little bit of blood. As long as you can breathe out that nose, you are fine. And it's this context that in the MMA and fight world, people just fucking ignore for some reason.
I saw Tom Aspinall on there land some nasty stuff too. I saw Tom Aspinall throw a high kick. I've never seen him throw a high kick, and it's partly because he's never had to throw a high kick. There are layers to these guys' games that we have to find only when they're fighting someone that not only deserves to be in there with them, but can extend them to a point where they have to use all of their weapons.
I mean, look, DC knows MMA. I'm not going to say he's talking total shit there, but I think if Tom Aspinall is being experimental in there and showing us things that he's not showing us before, I don't think for 1 second it's because I'm going to struggle here. I need to throw a high kick. I've never done that before. I don't think that's in his mind at all. He's so comfortable in there. He is showing more of his skill set that he has said he's been working on. And
those close to Tom say he feels deeply let down, embarrassed, blindsided, and stunned by how quickly Dana distanced himself after what was clearly an unfortunate accident. Backstage, Tom reportedly expressed his frustration, saying he had given his all to the organization and couldn't believe this was the response. He insisted he didn't quit. He simply lost his vision and vowed that when he returns, no one will ever question his toughness again. Over the past year, his career has seemingly been put on hold, with talk of a potential fight against John Jones repeatedly floated while he waited, along with matchups that many felt lacked direction. Then, when he finally made the walk to the octagon, a freak eye injury abruptly ended the night, and suddenly he found himself cast as the problem. His father, Andy Aspinall, has also spoken out, criticizing how the situation was managed and suggesting that once Tom's current deal expires, he may leave MMA altogether for boxing, where he believes his son would receive greater respect and financial reward. It's a difficult situation to watch unfold. Over the years, the UFC has seen major names depart under similar circumstances, fighters like Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz, and Tito Ortiz among them. Now, there's concern another top heavyweight could follow. If Tom were to step away, it would leave a significant void in the division.